Welcome to the Cleveland Rock Shop, everybody. This is a monthly event put on by Cleveland Rock's past, present, and future. We have a little bit later tonight the 2x4, 2 songs by 4 artists, all local, all original. We do this every month. We're open to all genres, and people could apply and be on this show. We will be presenting our next 2x4 on August 5th at Visible Voice Books, and then we'll be back here on the third Monday of the month. So there'll be 2 2x4s next month. Check out our calendar. We are Cleveland Rock's past, present, and future. We have a great website, www.clevelandrocksppf.org. We are live online on YouTube and Facebook today, and if you want to go back and watch any of this stuff, it'll be up on there. So we have a good YouTube channel with all of our previous 2x4s and our concerts that we put on in our neighborhood. I'm very excited tonight to have, for our professional development workshop panel, 2 great guests. Thank you to Abe and Silas for being here. Abe Bradshaw has been volunteering with Cleveland Rocks for the past couple of years, helping us out with our music incubator program. It's been really great to have him here, and he let us know along the way his professional work, and we were insistent on having him present a workshop and panel about what he has been working on. And I've heard from a lot of people in Cleveland that this is something that the musicians I talk to want to know about. We've had discussions in our music incubator program extensively about the desire to get music and film and demystify the process. So thank you very much for being here, Abe. I appreciate it. Everybody, Abe Bradshaw. And I went to the mixer for the Cleveland Film Commission earlier this summer, a great networking event open to creative and technical professionals in our area that work in music and related fields. And he introduced me to Silas. And Silas is a film composer, video game composer, who resides in Cleveland but has been working all over the country. And I was really excited to look at his work, and Abe and Silas had shared some information about what they'd done before. And thank you so much for inviting him. And Silas, thank you for being here. Everybody, Silas Height. I'd like to get into it and just have them talk a little bit about themselves and their work, and then I'll ask a couple of questions, and then we'll open it up to questions from the audience. So, Abe, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and your work, please?
Nice, and I want you to keep me super tight because I tend to get on my soapbox and ramble. But I grew up in Ashtabula County. I graduated high school, went to college, then joined the Navy, and then moved to New York City as soon as I got out to get into music business. And I've worked in the music business since 1999, believe it or not. It's crazy. But I moved out to Los Angeles in 2008 because when I was in New York, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I made the movie. Can you be my music supervisor?" And I said, "Yep, absolutely," even though I didn't know how to do it. But if you want to be a music supervisor, that's how you do it. You just say, "Yes, I'll figure it out." And I knew I was a music nerd. I've grown up just a music junkie. I can't get enough, and I'm so grateful that I can still hear. Every day I wake up, it's like, thank you, I can still hear. Way over 4,000 concerts I can still hear. I'm so grateful. And I've been so happy and lucky that I've been able to kind of live and work in the music and film industries. I'm also a film nerd, but way more of a music nerd, and happy that I can combine the two.
Thanks a lot. And Silas, could you tell us a little bit about your background and what you've been working on?
Sure. I'm a film, TV, video game commercial composer, and I make albums. I have a studio in Bath, down by Akron. And let's see, I've been scoring professionally for about 22, 23 years, something like that. The first 20 years I was in Los Angeles, kind of got my career established out there. And then during the pandemic, when everybody went everywhere and it seemed like you could work from anywhere, I moved here, built a studio, and I'm still doing the same thing from here. And happy to report it's been smooth sailing. So what I'm working on now, this week, and a Tom and Jerry video game doing the music and sound effects, which is pretty fun. Mobile game. And yeah, like I said, I also write music and make albums, more for creative pleasure, but I am able to sync those songs into movies and TV shows and make them pay for themselves, which is nice. And I believe this is the point of this about music sync, right? This workshop? Or is it more open than that?
It's a little more open. We'll see what the questions are when we get to it. Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I say one thing about that?
Yep, sure. Yes, please.
So if you don't know, as a composer, I'm hired to write original stuff for movies and films most of the time. I don't pick out songs and put them in, that kind of thing. That's usually more of the music supervisor's job, which there's a lot more to it than that, I'm sure. But that's sort of a big difference between our roles.
Correct. Very good way of putting it. I need a little pocket stylus to answer that question.
So, I'd love to jump into your studio. Tell me about like some of the last stuff that you were recording or writing in your studio.
Okay. Today I woke up and I was mixing some tracks for a film soundtrack that I just finished, an independent film made here in Cleveland. It's a documentary called Living Feral. I'm sure there'll be a screening at some point. It's about a survivalist woman who lives in a cave, eats roadkill, lives off the land. She's really amazing, very intelligent, beautiful. She was on that show Naked and Afraid like 7 times or something. And she just doesn't really want to participate in the same way that we all participate in society. Very interesting. So for that, I really wanted to use a lot of acoustic instruments. She lives in the woods, right? I wanted to use natural sounds. But the directors also were like, we want it kind of gritty and tough because she's really gritty and tough. And so used a lot of different things. Recorded some Yang Quin, which is actually like a Chinese hammer dulcimer that you hit with hammers, but instead I just tuned the strings to the notes I needed and bowed them really aggressively so I could get really like kind of tones to kind of set the atmosphere. So I was mixing that this morning and then switched over to Tom and Jerry and was working on a cover of the famous Tom and Jerry theme song. Like if you heard it, it would ring some distant bell in your brain. That's pretty fun. And then I was working on a song that I wrote, co-writing with my nephew, who's a guitar player. I do Americana music on the side, like write songs. It's called The Satin Cowboy and the 7 Deadly Sins. And it's like a blend of country, Americana, folk, bluegrass, that kind of stuff. So I was working on that today. And supposedly I'll be working on some mnemonics tomorrow. Mnemonics are at the end of a commercial. You'll hear like a little sound that makes you think of a company, like McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, that's a mnemonic. Supposedly I'm going to be working on one for a tire company tomorrow. We'll see if that comes in tonight. So that's what's happening in my...
Have you done a lot of mnemonics?
I've done a lot of mnemonics, yeah. I got to cover the McDonald's one. I didn't write it, but did versions of it lots of times, and yeah, lots of different famous ones.
That's amazing. I am super fascinated, and I want to come back to more questions about your process and stuff in the studio, but I want to ask Abe to get engaged with us here about, like, kind of explain just briefly what the overview is for a music supervisor. What is the work?
I'm going to, if anyone here wants to be a music supervisor, can you please raise your hand? Okay, great. So I'm only going to offend 2 people, which is good. But being a music supervisor is a great sounding job, but seriously, it's like, it's really not all it's cracked up to be. Like, I'm way more excited about my other job, which is being like a record company owner and trying to find new talent and work with new talent and get them in the studio. That's my bread and butter. That's why I was put on this earth. Being a music supervisor is what I had to do when I was trying to figure out how to make money as a record company again, after I started at a record company in 2005, which was a bad idea. But I'm very grateful that I've had work as a music supervisor, and it also like gets me in a lot of conversations because everyone's like, ooh, I always wanted to do that. I'm like, yeah, it's really great. But basically what happens is you get hired by a production company or a director, and the way you do that is you have to network, and that's one of the reasons why we lived and still kind of live in LA, is you have to like go out and meet people, and you meet a lot of directors in LA when you're at concerts and stuff. So anyway, you get in conversations about it, you get excited, you work with them, but usually they want what they want and they can never afford it. So you have to spend the first day of talking with them by breaking their heart and saying, I know you really want that Led Zeppelin song, but you cannot get it unless you sell something really expensive, and then you can afford it. So then you have to, work. Your biggest job as a music supervisor is to say, what songs do you need? And very rarely is it songs that you know a lot about. It's amazing how many times I've had to find Mexican cumbia, and I know a lot more, and Silas is a huge fan, but also it's like you never know what you're going to be thrown. And then you have to see how many songs total that you need, and then you have to look at the budget, which is always very tiny, and then I have to fight to get more of a budget because I have to fight to get the musicians paid. Even if I don't get paid, I want them to be paid. Even if it's $100, pay them, give them something. And I say, hey, you have $10,000, we need 8 songs. Let's offer everyone $1,000 and we'll get the 8 greatest songs and make it so that you're so happy that you'll be happy you didn't get Led Zeppelin because it's better now. And usually it works out that way because in the end, you'd rather have a young, cool band in there than people hearing a Led Zeppelin song for the millionth time. And also that young, cool band is psyched that they're in a movie and they're going to be at your premiere and they're going to be talking with your fans, and the investors are going to say, wow, that band's really cool. And then they're going to be fans and friends for life. Like, what's better than that? So it just makes more sense, and that's when it gets more fun. So my kind of special skill that I bring to music supervision is I am willing to work with people with no money, but if you're willing to work with me, we can create, through my talented friends, better music than you ever thought you could get. And that's kind of the way I go through music supervision until I can get on like a big show like Sopranos, and then I can pick anything I want, and then it's game on, and then it'll be super fun again. But you never have as much money as you thought you would.
With that, where were some really, just talk about maybe 1 or 2 really cool ones that you put together that you found where it was maybe something with somebody else that you were collaborating, or you did discover something that really surprised everybody?
I think easily the most fun thing that I've ever worked on just happened like about a month and a half ago. A recent director who is a recent grad of AFI Film School, really talented young kid. His name is Paul Cadenhead, and he has a really great script. He already filmed his film, and he came to me in the beginning because I worked with his producer before in another film, and he said, you got to talk to Abe right away because the film is about a jazz trumpet player who lives in an apartment in New York City, and next to the main character, and the main character, who's an agoraphobe, he can't go out in public, so he's like a recluse, and he is inspired by this young woman who moves next to him and starts playing her trumpet. So we had to figure out how we were going to make all of this jazz trumpet work, and also how it wouldn't cost $1 zillion because we're using famous jazz standards. So I said, we're going to have to create our own music, but make them sound like really, because no one really knows, unless you're like a huge jazz fan. Like, no one's going to say, I've never heard of these songs before, and be shocked by it. So I said, we can use that to our advantage and just make great songs And if we find and cast a trumpet player who can write her own music, great. And so that's what we did. And she turned out to be like a genius. And we wrote it and then went down to Nashville and recorded it with my friend down there. And it was like the most fun because we were making unbelievable music that we're going to use in the film that we own. And she's so proud and she is so excited because this is her first acting role and it's also her first composing role, and she got them both at the same time. So I can't wait until people get to watch it because it's really cool.
What's it called?
Well, it was called Agoraphobe, but I don't know what it'll be called in the end. So it's the
We'll put it in the newsletter.
once it's out.
Stay tuned. We'll put it in there. Silas, what was a project that gave you a lot of joy?
There's been lots of good ones. One that pops up just off the top of my head because I was just looking at it before I came here. On the 4th of July, have you guys ever noticed when you go to Google something, sometimes Google looks different? Like I think today it said Google as in goal for soccer because of the World Cup. They change that up all the time. Sometimes you click on those and they're little movies or little video games. Well, I've done a lot of music for those, which was super fun. And the other day I reposted the 4th of July one, which was a baseball one. And you could play, and I did the music and the sound effects and the voices of the umpire and whatever, all that stuff. So I was just thinking about that on the way up here and thinking, I got to get a hold of them and see if I can do some more because those are super fun.
That's cool. What if we briefly talk about like your entry points? Like, how did you get started? Obviously, I would think that you were playing music, but
yeah, I studied drums when I was a kid. I started at 11, and then was in choir in high school because they didn't have a music program. So I kept studying drums and did choir. Went to college, U of A in Tucson, studied percussion, and I also, this is probably maybe one of the more valuable things I could throw out there, is I studied music, art, and business, all three, because I knew, even at that age, knew so many musicians and artists that were, incredible at their craft, but having a hard time making a living. And so I was like, okay, maybe I need a little bit of business foundation. And I also looked at everyone in my family, and they were all like had their own businesses or were self-employed. So I was like, that's probably my route as well. So studied that, even though I didn't like it, but did it, and it was helpful. And they had a recording studio at the school, and I interned there. And pretty quickly I realized I didn't like playing other people's music. I liked playing my own music and writing my own stuff. And I was in bands, and that was great. And my uncles are composers. Of course, I imagine most of you know the band Devo. Mark and Bob Mothersbaugh are my uncles. And so I started working with them after college as just an intern at their studio, just making coffee and walking the dogs and running errands and stuff. But then I got to, in between all of that, I would write music as much as I could. And I started by working on commercial demos because that was sort of like an area where, they're short and we would submit like 30 tracks at a time or whatever. So if one or two of them were mine and they weren't amazing, it didn't really matter. But I got good at it, and I got good at it very quickly. And then pretty soon I moved from intern to full-time composer, and I was a full-time composer there for about 7 years. Pretty quickly worked into doing film, TV, video games. And then in 2010, I just kind of realized like I can only get so far working underneath someone else. And so I left there and was freelance from 2010 until, now, and was in LA until like 2 years ago. But just still doing the same thing. And I left there because I thought also that like I wanted to make albums. I thought that I wanted to produce bands and stuff. And so I did that for a little bit and didn't really enjoy it. I just really do kind of enjoy, as selfishly as it sounds, focusing on my own music and scoring things for other people, But that's what I'm doing.
Great, thank you. Abe, kind of the same question, how did you get into, where was your starting point for working in music professionally, and then if it's different than getting into the film side of it, how did you get into that side of it?
Well, I was in the Navy, which was not like the greatest place to get a music business job. So when I got out, I had a lot of confidence, especially in my knowledge, but you need to know someone to get a job in music, and I didn't know anyone. All I knew is I was going to move to New York, and I'll figure it out. So I had a friend who luckily allowed me to stay with him for a year. That it took me to find a job, and I applied like every week to a different company, and they all looked at me like I was an alien. I had no way in. And finally, in like my 70th interview, I met the woman who interviewed me, her brother went to West Point, and I went to Annapolis, which is like the rival military school. And so she goes, "Oh, I know Annapolis." I was like, "Oh, really?" Because like it's college, and people didn't think I went to college because I was in the Navy. And so she goes, "Wow, I'd like to get you, an entry-level job." And I said, "That would be great." And so in the end, it did help with my resume. So I got a foot in the door, and that's all I needed. I was just like, "All right, I'm in. I'm going to try to not let them see me, and I'm just going to go." And so I got my first job was with like the biggest distribution company at the time, BMG, and we were in Times Square. So like right away, I was like, boom, right into my dream job. And then I wanted to get to a record company. And then I went to a record company called Sanctuary, which at the time it was right when Napster was scaring everyone, and they were letting go of all the cool bands on the majors. And Sanctuary was there with a bucket, like picking up all the cool bands that they were dropping. So I got to work with so many of my heroes, and it was unbelievable. But then my cockiness and me thinking I know everything said, I'm going to start my own company because I can do it better. And that's why I'm sitting here right now. It's because it's tough, having your own company. But it was the only way I could do it because I like discovering bands, and you can't be an A&R rep for a big company because they are the A&R reps. Even though I had that job, they would never give me the credit, So I said, I'm just going to do it myself and sign who I want. And so that's what I did, and that's what I'm going to keep doing.
That's great. I kind of want to talk a little bit about tools of the trade. So for you, what do you have to use to make it happen? What are the things you need to be good at and or at least have a basic understanding of, technology-wise or process-wise?
I think for me, this is going to sound extremely arrogant, but there's no other way to put it. The only reason why I'm still doing it is because I think I have good ears, and I trust my ears a lot, and also because I am extremely passionate and stubborn, and you really have to love what you're doing to keep it going no matter what it is, but especially like when you're slugging it out and living paycheck to paycheck. And I've been doing it for 25 years, and I'm still not a household name, believe it or not. And but I'm still confident that I know what I'm doing, and I really believe that, like, regardless of what anyone hears from someone who's seen both sides of the coin, I think the music business is in an incredibly positive position right now. I think that it's a great time. Never been a better time to be an independent musician and an independent record company. And I truly believe that in 3 years there's going to be a revolution, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
Thank you. Silas, there we go. Silas, what about you? Maybe a little into what you, the skills you had to develop, and then you both are running your own businesses as well as you're producing, you're recording and composing and performing. Yeah. And I believe, do you also engage other musicians to?
Yeah, so I play a lot of instruments myself, just because I enjoy doing it, and that's how I get creative. It also saves my directors money because I don't have to hire as many outside players. I do hire session players when I need them, particularly like when I write orchestral stuff. I don't play strings or brass, so I hire them. So the tools of my trade are a lot of different instruments, a studio, and I write in Logic, which is the program that comes with Apple. And that would kind of boil it down. The skills involved, I mean, I studied in college, studied music and studied recording, learned some, but it really, I really learned a lot on the job working with clients and observing these older composers that I was working with, how they dealt with the problems that come along, and also just scoring over and over and over and over on projects. I mean, I've scored thousands and thousands of hours of stuff at this point, and it's just repetition. And so a lot of people that want to be composers ask me, how do we get to do that? How do I actually get something in front of me that I can write music for? And I always tell them, go to film festivals, meet directors, tell them, I'm in a band or whatever. I play this. I would love to. Can I send you some music to listen to? Maybe it'll work for your movie. Maybe I could try writing for you, that kind of stuff. Even film schools, when there's film schools, those directors are learning too, and you should be teamed up with someone who's also learning so you can learn together until you know what you're doing. And because it just takes a lot of experience. There's also websites. You can download videos that don't have music already. You could just go to YouTube and rip stuff. There's other websites that are more specifically for it, and score those just so you get some practice, because it just takes a lot of practice at the end of the day. And you can do it with relatively simple setup. I mean, you can have a crappy laptop and the sounds that come with it and make the best out of that. You don't have to play a million instruments. If you play one well, that's helpful. Focus on that. You don't have to have the best microphones or anything like that. I've recorded things that have won awards I've recorded in a bathroom in like 20 minutes, just because that's all we had. The power went out and we were like, oh my God, we have to do this. And we recorded vocals in a bathroom on like a laptop and a crappy, no offense, but like a mic like this, just whatever. And it won, So I think everybody here probably knows music can be written in less than ideal circumstances and still be great, right? So remember that. I think a lot of people get hung up on the tools, and you don't have to. It's more about the creativity and perseverance, like he's talking about. That's the main thing.
Well, both of you, in these cases, being your own boss, having to set, in a lot of cases, set your own schedule and keep on the work and everything. How do you continue to stay disciplined or to stay motivated or inspired in the different situations that you got to put that stuff forward?
Well, the bills keep coming in, so you gotta keep working. It's just like any other job. The sad part is, it hit me early on in this, was you never make it, unfortunately. No matter how many famous projects you've worked on or done, it doesn't matter. Like you just have to keep hustling the whole time. So that's the hard part, I would say, is the constant hustle to continue to get work and keep it going and keep discipline. Fortunately, I enjoy it, and I would be writing music whether someone was paying me or not. So I feel like I found my thing in life. That's what I really enjoy doing, and I'm writing music either for myself or for somebody else literally almost every day, because that's what I like doing. So,
what about you, Abe?
Pretty much exactly what Silas said. Is like, it is really tough to be your own boss, but then you just kind of have to. Like, I talk with a lot of artists, and I try to give them advice, and then I give them great advice, and then I keep saying, why don't I listen to that myself? Until finally I said, I need to start listening to that myself. And then everything, I gave good advice, and it just took me a long time until it was like, oh yeah, this is how I need to also act, because I'm an artist too, even though I always would be like, they're the artists, I'm just the business guy, I'm just the nerd, blah, blah, blah. But you also have to be an artist as an entrepreneur as well.
I think we're going to have a lot of questions today, so I want to kind of just say, is there anything that you would want to share that we didn't cover yet right now? Anything that comes to you that you would want to share?
No, I'd say open it up. I mean, you sat through all of that. Bravo.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great. Yeah, let me hand the microphone to you so it can go out on the broadcast too.
Oh, broadcast. All right. So, so my question, I think both of you could speak to it. And maybe, because my question is a little complex, so maybe I can share this brief experience and you guys can kind of glean the question from it. So a couple of years ago, there was an independent movie that wanted music from artists. And so me and my producer at the time, we submitted a song. They liked it. And our challenge is that we had never done that before. We had known that it was dependent upon having the sync license, but we didn't really know how to technically go about it. And so we had Googled some forms, and it was like, okay, this seems to be like a sync licensing template. And so I guess what my question is like, how does that process normally look for an artist that's trying to complete it? Like, should they already have that kind of form, and should they know how to fill that out, or would the platform that's seeking the music from them know that?
It should come from, that's a great question. I don't think it should be the artist's responsibility. It should come from a music supervisor.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will ask you to submit something, for their film, or, there are music supervisors like me who say, I want to try a bunch of stuff. And so once it gets narrowed down to like 5 sometimes, then they might say, hey, would you be interested in licensing your song for this much money for this show? Here's the blah, blah, blah. And then you can say yes or no, or you can say we want more money, and then they'll say, all right, nice knowing you, we're going to go to the other ones, So, but really, like, to get all the way through until it is actually in the final cut of the film and a part of the movie, like, way before that happens, which takes forever, by the way, years sometimes, then they should provide some sort of agreement for you to sign. And if someone puts your song into something that you didn't agree to, then you should, depending on, like, there's probably not much money you're going after, but depending on the success of it, you might have to, like, at least hire a lawyer to at least give a cease and desist and say, we need to get some paperwork, because no one should use your song without getting your permission and an agreement signed between you, and hopefully some money headed your way. Is that about right?
Okay, guys, thank you for sharing. Silas, I actually know you. I met you at a store in Akron. During
Yes,
your record
you bought my record.
Yeah,
I thought you looked familiar.
I found that picture too. So it's
well, thank
good
you.
to see you, brother.
Thanks for buying that.
Thank you. My question for you guys, because I'm actually interested in getting into the sync licensing and all of that, and just I have a lot of beats. I sell. I'm an artist myself, but I'm a producer as well, and I sell beats through my website and all that. But as far as like film and television and all that, should I register that with I'm with ASCAP? Should I have that already registered first before I do all of that, and or should I wait, or to even
from my perspective, it probably doesn't matter really until it goes into something. If you're giving it to a website and they're going to like represent it for you and try and get it out there, then yeah, get it registered, because then it is out there doing something.
Yeah.
So you probably do want it more tied to you, and make sure that that's all clear before you start. But until it really lands somewhere and in something, if it's just sitting on your computer, it doesn't really matter.
Right. And I'm sorry, two-part question. Just even getting into the sync license, because like one of my favorite shows is like House Hunters, and I always hear like beats in the background. It's like, how do you even go about trying to get work on film and television? Like, where is the first place I should even start to try to get into sync license?
Well, the way to kind of get into it, once you are in a show that people have seen and is no longer independent films, because it's a difference, like anyone here could make a movie and could need music, and that just is kind of random. But for like established shows with established producers, they have established music supervisors who, and it's really like, I would say it's like 50 that really work. And so what you will need is like a sync licensing company to be repped by them, and there are a wide variety of places that do this. There are also like libraries that sometimes buy a catalog and say you are a part of this. That are like a lot of composers do that. I personally I can't believe this is going live. But I personally am starting my own sync licensing company because I used to go through one of the biggest ones in California, but unfortunately at the end of last year she retired, and so I was looking around and saying, who should I go with next? And then I said, well, I should just do it myself because I am a music supervisor and I know a lot of music supervisors, so I can at least talk with her and say, hey, I'm gonna do it now. And she's been very helpful and given me a lot of advice. So I'm gonna be one of these sync houses that's pitching every day very soon. And so if anyone in this room is a songwriter and wants me to listen to your stuff, I would love to listen to it because, again, I am a very humble and small person in this great world of music, and I am always blown away by how fortunate I've been to meet some of the greatest musicians in the world, I believe. And again, you can never really predict what you're going to need, so it's always, to me, it's like I've met you for a reason, and who knows, maybe we'll get lucky. And if you find someone else who does what I do and you'd rather go with them, great, just send me an email, you can go to them. That's the beautiful thing about licensing companies is I don't have to spend money, so I'm just spending time. And so it's not like, if someone wants someone else to do it, great. But I just don't want two people doing it at the same time because that looks bad. So that's the one thing I would advise is don't have two people pitching your stuff because it's a bad way to go through the business.
Hi. Oh, sorry, Zayla. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm currently a student at Tri-C in the Recording Arts Technology program. Before I got into that, I was at doing business at CSU, and I transferred because I wanted to get into music business. I also want to say thank you guys for coming. It's my first time being introduced to you, so I don't know how much you can answer of this question. But I wanted to be an A&R, and my question with it is, do you think that it's becoming a bit of a lost skill due to like TikTok and how many platforms people have to really promote themselves, but there's not a lot of human interaction in it anymore? So me being a social person and still wanting to pursue that, yet also being becoming an engineer, how can I continue that field? Because I love to do it, whether it's a lost skill or not, but how can I perfect that as well?
I will answer this one because this one's very personal to me. I mean, the whole reason I wanted to be in music was to work in A&R, which is, for anyone who doesn't know what A&R is, even though I'm sure everyone in this room does, but for anyone out there in the digital world, it's the old abbreviation's kind of antique now, but it was for artists and repertoire. So it was basically the person who discovers the artist, but then would also like try to help them out with what songs they were going to sing next, because there used to not really be that many singer-songwriters back in the day. They would find the singer and then they'd find the songs for them to sing. So, but thankfully, we moved into where artists are writing their own songs, and I feel that's much better. So like I am always interested in finding songwriters because that's what I've been drawn to since day one. That's why I moved to New York. That's why I wanted to get in the business, because I want to be the next John Hammond. I want to be the next, I have like an entire list of my favorite A&R people. And I'm just one of those nerds who is always out, probably like 4 nights a week at a minimum, my entire adult life, out at the smallest clubs, because I never go to the big stadiums unless it's like 5 people. But I don't care if you're already famous. I want to find the next people. So if you want to be an A&R, that's what it's about. You got to like look for the hidden gems. And if you give me 10 hidden gems, I'll be like, you're A&R, and you got to start your own company. You got to put these people out because they're great, and that's really all it is. But now is the best time to be an A&R agent because you don't have to work for RCA or Columbia, because you'll never get a job with them because they're all like pretentious assholes. And they think they know the most about music, as you should, as I do, but like I am a lot more inviting because I know that I don't know everything, and I'm not fighting for my 7-figure job either. So I'm like, yeah, please, there's so many good bands. I could honestly sign right now 200 bands. 200 bands that I think should be millionaires right now. And this is not a joke. This is not hyperbole. This is not exaggeration. I know 200 bands that should be millionaires because they're that good, like up there with my favorites of all time. Not many people know that. Many, you know. Some people know like 5, like including themselves. So if you are insatiable about music, which you need to be if you want to be an A&R, go out to shows, like scour Spotify. Spotify is the greatest invention. I love, you know, if once that algorithm knows your tastes, you're going to find so much stuff you never heard. You know, I can't believe all the new stuff. Every week I find new stuff. And I'm a junkie, and I look, and if they have less than 100,000 streams, I get excited. If they have less than 10,000, I get really excited. If they have nothing, I'm like, yes. Got to talk to this person. Let's go, because they should be making money. And that's why I was put on this earth, is I'm going to like try to help as many musicians earn as much money as they can. You know, I think musicians should be able to earn a living if that's what they want to do. And so we're going to learn how to use all these great advances in technology together so it works. And that's being an A&R person. So you should do the same thing.
Hello.
I told you, I'd get on my soapbox.
And I absolutely love that. Hello. My name is Sam. I go by Sam Supreme. I'm a musician out here. But a year ago, I feel like I was put in your position where I was asked by an independent film company to be a music supervisor, and I started a record label, and now I'm in the middle of creating a soundtrack for a documentary that I'm about to complete the music supervision for. So this is my first time doing any of that. So that's why I wanted to come here, and thank you so much for being passionate, because I feel the same exact way, so I feel validated. My first question is, I understand when you said you made a label to take that music and use it for supervision, kind of like using the music and bands you find to also put in different films and stuff like that. My first question is, how do you manage catalog? I found a website called Repertoire that I've been playing around with. And then second, how do you manage cue sheets when you have to do them? And do you get any help administratively, you know, making sure that the artist, you know, you have your ISRC codes, everything you need for those cue sheets?
Yes. The way that I handle my catalog is just a lot of work. Until I can find some interns, and until I can hire some people, it's just me. So I got to do it. And the same is true for cue sheets. You know, just gotta like Silas said. You know, I have to pay the bills, so I have to get it done. And it, you know, I don't get much sleep, and I really hate the monotonous stuff because I'm definitely ADHD and need my dopamine, and it's tough for me to sit there and focus on the boring stuff, but there's no other way around it. You know, you got to do it. So I do it as early and as quickly as possible so I can get to the fun stuff, and that's how you got to do it. But just do it.
Can I add something to that? I have to do cue sheets a lot for my stuff, of course, like when I'm scoring a TV show. If you don't know, a cue sheet is a record of all the music that's in a movie or TV show. That goes to BMI or ASCAP, so they know who to send the money to for the songwriters and publishers. So usually the music supervisor takes care of the bands and the songs that are in the movie. And if they're a good music supervisor, a lot of times they will fill out the composer's part too, or we work together to do it. I always do mine just to make sure that everything's correct, so I can get that, you know, make sure that the money gets there to me. But it is confusing, and if you have questions, sometimes I'll email BMI and ask them if I don't remember. Also, I've started using ChatGPT because there's weird circumstances that come up with songs. You're like, oh, there's a sample from this, and this is from there, and this, you know, and it gets complicated. Honestly, I've used ChatGPT, and it's really helpful. Yeah. But BMI, in theory, is supposed to help you as well, and you can try that too.
Okay, I guess I'm next. So first of all, thank you to the two of you and Dave for being here tonight. This is all very informative information, so thank you. I have a question about that you could both answer based off of your backgrounds about the business of the music industry. It's been a long time since I was involved with the music business. When I was, it was 20 years ago, and there was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there was no Spotify. People bought CDs. There were no digital flyers. So I spent a couple of years basically spending all my time, all my energy, and all my money not being able to make it, obviously. But now, with all the digital tools and Spotify and everything, there's a lot more, I would say, artists out there. There's a lot more noise. There's tons and tons of people uploading music online. People typically, from what I've seen, don't really support people that they don't know, or they don't even support people they know. So let's make believe there is a band or an independent artist out there who's really talented. How do they break through the noise and become someone big? Because I just don't know how that happens anymore. I also am 42 years old, so I grew up when like Lou Pearlman was breaking the band with NSYNC and O-Town and Backstreet Boys, so it was a different era back then. But if you said you have 200 great bands, what can you do to make one of them a superstar, if that even exists these days?
Yeah, so like, can everyone become a huge success? No, but the chances of an independent artist who, really sets out to really learn and educate themselves on the new business and then follows the instructions of the new business, and you scratch behind the ear of the algorithms and you do the little things that all these, companies do. These robots, these AI companies, these AI, filters they have like 30 million songs uploaded a day. So how are they going to figure out who is a professional or not? They figure it out because the professionals upload their songs and do things a different way than the novices. So already, if you're doing things the right way, you'll be in Lake Erie instead of the Pacific Ocean, because they're going to say, this is a professional. We're going to devote our time to it. And you can always tell online. Spotify makes it very simple if you look at those streams, which are the greatest. Like, again, like I could go through and it would be a very, very long and boring lecture, because I could go through and say, name one thing about the old music business that's better than today. And I would shoot all of them down, because there's nothing that was better about it when I started than it is now. Everything is better now. Everything. And if anyone tells you otherwise, it's big music. And I know I'm going to be like buried in some desert somewhere someday, because I'm going to be fighting against big music till I die, but it is unbelievable, the disinformation campaign that they started when they saw their castles about to be taken down. Because up till about 2003, you could not even record an album unless you had a ton of money. And if you were rich and you made an album, they would automatically dismiss it as shit, because you're rich and you don't really have talent because you weren't signed by me. So they would allow these artists to have a shot at the crown, and they would either do really well, or it would take a while, or whatever, but you were like in a very, very rare company. So the chances of you making it were extremely high. It was kind of like it was yours to drop the ball, especially when there was only one MTV and one Rolling Stone, and so like everyone was getting all their information in one place. And even if you hated the song the first time you heard it, you're going to hear it 100 times more. And that is why we like half of the junk that was released back in those days. And then it becomes nostalgia 30 years later, and then it's like, wow, I was so sick of that song then. Now it's even worse when my kids are singing it. But anyway, I could go on and on and on. But the reason why they started their disinformation campaign is because they knew that the reason that they were on top was about to be like totally taken over, and pretty soon independent labels should be sprouting up all over the place. So what they did is they said, hey, there's no way to make money in music. And then they also basically killed music journalism. So there's no more MTV, there's no more authorities who say, this is the best of the millions of songs last week, this is the best. So we lost those two things, and so that's why since about 2008, there really hasn't been anything that's really united, the nation, unless they're like something like Wet Ass Pussy or something that's like a headline, but it's not like, oh, everyone loves that song, because you don't really get to hear anything altogether anymore. So, but anyway, why is this good for independent artists? It's like, if you learn and if you quit thinking there's no money in music, and if you quit thinking that Spotify streams are only 0.004 cents as a bad thing, and if you think of that as a positive thing, wow. You mean every time someone streams it, I get 0.004 cents? That's great. Because if you went back and you really got nerdy about shipping out compact discs and then having everyone ship them back 6 weeks later, and how you lose money and you try to explain to a band, hey, we sold 1,000 copies. Oh, they returned 999. Sorry, I can't pay you anything, and now you're in the red, $15,000. So we don't have to deal, like the two stupidest things I used to have to spend money on were manufacturing of vinyl too. Like, vinyl is great. I love the way Cleveland utilizes, the vinyl place here, and there's a lot of great vinyl, but it's great when you can do 100, 500 and sell them. But other than that, when in the old days you had to make enough to ship to all the stores across the nation, and then they all ship them back. There's nothing worse. But now you don't have to deal with that. If you stream it, you get that 0.004. If you multiply that by your streams, that should be about how much money you're making in total. Whether or not you have arrangements on how it's split up, that's a whole other thing. But it's great when you see once you get to that million point. 1 million streams is $4,000, which is exciting, because I didn't make $4,000 on any of those compact discs. I lost a lot of money. The cheapest I could release an album for when it was compact discs, even with great artists, and great albums. I'm so proud of every album, but it was a minimum of 30 grand, even if I cut every corner, And then if you got a publicist, it was another 15 grand, But now you don't really need manufacturing unless you do a small run, which is great. And you don't need publicists, really, unless you get to a certain level where you can't field all your requests, and then you hire the publicist. So you need to get to that level first instead of saying, hey, I hired Bruce Springsteen's publicist. Why am I not getting Bruce Springsteen press? It's just it was so dumb back then. So everything's better with Shazam, Spotify, Instagram, technology. It just is easier and cheaper to record. There's nothing worse. So again, I go on and on, but look at the positives. Watch the YouTube videos. Read things about how you can make yourself appear like a professional, act like a professional, and it's amazing. I'll send you a couple ones that I found that just blew my mind and opened my mind, and it's just you can see the excitement on their face. I'm trying this and it's working, and I'm not spending any money. I'm hustling myself. It's work. It's work like any other job. But the craziest thing is when musicians come to me and they don't think they have to work. It's well, then this is your hobby and that's great, but I can't help you because my time is valuable too. I have 199 other bands that I would rather work with, and I hope they work.
Hi,
it's impossible to say it shorter.
Hi, my name is Cartier, and I'm an independent artist provider. And my question is more targeted towards Silas, just as far as when you go about submitting to different calls, right? I've been doing a bit of research about Disco as a platform to organize all of the, whether it's the backing tracks, all the stems. But I was curious as far as best practices, if you come across a call, like what all should an artist have before submitting for a sync opportunity?
Well, I don't submit for a ton of sync opportunities. I do some. I do use Disco. Disco is just a platform. It's a website. A lot of music supervisors are using it now, I found, and music houses that do like commercials and stuff. So that is a good way to submit, and it's just because it's easy for everybody to understand and use. It's a nice platform. If you're submitting a song for an opportunity, you need to have access to that song so that you can make any changes necessary. That's the biggest thing. And then also everybody that's involved that would want a piece of the pie, you need to have that worked out, figured out, locked down, so you're not like, well, if they call me, I have to find that one guy who wrote that thing. I don't know. I haven't seen him in 2 years. I'd say that's the biggest thing, is have all of that figured out ahead of time. Does that answer it? Yeah. Okay.
All right, well, I have to make a stage transition. Do we have one more question? Yeah. Come on up. After this question, everybody, I have to make a stage transition for our music part of the evening, and I hope our guests will stay around. We'll have a little break. You might be able to bug them and ask them a couple more questions on your own.
Thank you guys for coming. It's really terrific and very interesting. I actually want to circle back to the comment you made and kind of follow up on the question that you asked, which is when you said that there are 200 bands that are terrific and that they're worth $1 million or whatever it is. Can you just give us what you think the top 2 barriers are that's preventing them from actually getting that $1 million?
Unfortunately, it is just like decades of misinformation. Just, if you lined up 1,000 strangers of every age and race and as disparate as you want, maybe make it 100,000. 99% of them, if you asked, can you make money in music, they would all say no. Very positively, regardless of their walk of life. It's just unbelievable how ingrained that is in our heads. And especially as Americans, it's tough to be an artist in general because, if you're sitting at your Thanksgiving table, everyone's always going to give you grief about it. Are you still doing that music thing? And it's like, yeah, you still doing that doctor thing? Like, what's up? You had to spend a lot more at med school than I had to spend on my album. So look at that car outside that I just bought. That's the way I want the future to be, where it's like, you guys can go ahead and think that there's no money in music while we're making the money in music. And yeah, I'll probably be a lot quieter about it once I start making more money because I'll be like, shh, it's our secret. But it really is amazing, like how you can put the power in your hands. And I think that the only reason why these bands are not making the money that they should is just because they don't know and they don't try. It's like they assume that they're not going to make any money. They put it up kind of half-heartedly. They don't follow the advice. They don't get any plays, and they feel sorry for themselves before they even post it, and then they don't get anything. And like, what are they expecting? It's like really, really sad and depressing because it takes someone like me who calls them and says, or emails them and says, you're amazing. You can make money. Would you like to start making money, or is this like totally a hobby? And they're kind of like, wow. Because really, like, what I found is like every artist just really needs someone to give a damn about them. And then all of a sudden it's like, wow, I'm not just doing this for me. I've impacted one person, he or she actually knows something. And I wish that I had more of a golden touch, and I'm working on that. And I wish that like people would know my name. Like I spent 25 years like hiding in the shadows and not putting my name out. Like, oh, I don't want any of the, but that was stupid of me. Like, if I would have like marketed myself and said I'm the next Rick Rubin, I know more about music than anybody, blah blah blah. I mean, I don't want to ever be like a jerk, but like, if I had more confidence and was like bragging about myself more, then I could have helped a lot more artists now, and because I would have some stock, and they'd be like, oh, I know that guy. He's Simon Cowell, like he's like such a jerk, but like people know who he is because he's like confident and says, I'm the expert and I'm willing to like be the bad guy, and I should have done that more, you know. But if I find them, I'm going to give them some hope. But if Rick Rubin found them, they'd be rich, you know. So like, good. But that's the only difference. It's just they either haven't figured it out and haven't really thought they could make anything, and then the other thing is they haven't met the person who knows.
Thank you both very much. Silas, is there anything you want to leave everybody with here? No.
Go get them.
Go get 'em.
It's hard. Just keep grinding.
Everybody give it up for Silas and Abe. Thank you all for being here. We're going to take a short break and reset the stage, and we're going to have the 2x4, 2 songs by 4 artists right after this. Hey everybody, welcome back. Here we are in the Cleveland Rock Shop. About to have our monthly event, the 2x4. We had a great workshop. If you missed it, you can go and look at it on YouTube later. Or you can just rewind if you're watching YouTube now. After we're done with this, just rewind to the beginning. I'm super excited about the 2x4 here. And I got your first name earlier, but I didn't get your last name, and you got to tell me who you are.
I'm Mike Relic. I am the leader of the band Relic from around here.
Everybody, Mike Relic. Please talk about yourself a little bit, and whatever you'd like to do in between the songs. Everybody, once again, Mike Relic.
Well, I'm from the east side, born and raised over in Menor over there, so the very east side, I guess. But I've just been working on music and being able to create and being a part of such a wonderful community of the Cleveland music scene just absolutely means the world to me. I mean, I got my good friend right here, Jack McLaughlin, that's sitting front and center, and just being able to get to be a part of an event like this is fun because I've been playing a lot of different venue shows, ticketed shows, different things, tours and everything, but it's very few and far between I get the opportunity to just kind of sit in an intimate space and be able to make some music. But first one I'm going to play is one song that I'd already released. It's called I'd Go Anywhere. Kind of both of them are a little bit about the love that continues on after the relationship is already gone, and kind of being able to figure out how to, I guess, deal with that. And I'll tell you a little bit of a secret about this is that this song is not about a person, it's about music, and it's about the connection that you could feel within that. And yeah, I hope you guys like it. Accident. I was running late to the bank 'cause I was in debt from last night's fun, and they don't wait for anyone. When the streetlight had malfunctioned and I collided with what I thought I know, where you had taken my hand, pulled me to your temple, where I learned to pray for the very first time. I called it love for lack of a better word, when I should have said, baby, I'd go anywhere, and only you can take me there. Baby, I'd go anywhere, and only you can take me there. Just because I know how this will end doesn't mean it would burn any less.
by, and the callous grief will never subside, 'cause the pain walked you into the love of my life. When I found you city side, if I can earn it for life, I will buy it for a night. Oh, just hold me one more time. Don't bend when I cry, can't do this again. 'Cause baby, I'd go anywhere, and only you can take me there. Baby, I'd go anywhere, and only you can take me there. Baby, I'd go anywhere, and I'd pay you, take me there. Don't feel lost when what you're selling is all being bought. Aren't you happy now? You could buy anything you could ever want, but with every bargain there comes a cost, I know, 'cause somewhere along the way traded everything for a chance to hold on. Now I can't go. I may only be able to remember you in bars or concert halls. In the moments when what I'm selling is all being bought, only to be pulled out by the smattering of applause from these mostly empty halls by apathetic crowds. Oh, I know I never will be found. 'Cause baby, I've gone anywhere, and only you could have taken me there. Oh, baby, I've gone anywhere, and only you could have taken me there. Baby, I've gone anywhere, please don't take me there. And just because I knew how this would end doesn't mean that it burns any less.
Hey, that's a bright and cheery song, eh? Also, I don't know what Silas was talking about. The Beta 57, this microphone, is one of the greatest microphones that have ever been invented.
I was like, oh, that's a Beta.
I know. It's a great microphone. I'm hoping it sounded good from out there. I just changed my guitar strings today, so they're getting out a little bit out of whack because of the heat, but I'm hoping it'll stay at least somewhere in the right zone. This next one is it's called Our Human Nature, and similar theme, but it's a little bit less, I guess, abrasive in the way that it's a bit of a sadder song. But it's just about, I guess, storing away certain memories that you have as a songwriter that you know that later you'd like to revisit, but when you're ready for it, and when you feel like that's there.
Getting married in the summer to a man who truly loves her in every way that she needs. but I can't help but fight the feeling that I could have learned to love her, despite all the changing in weather. But I lock all the memories away, and I'll save them for the day I wanna write a love song. I know just what I would say. No matter how long it may take, your rivers will always carve down the mountains, stand between us. In every word we may stake our claim, our human nature will always make sure we find each other in the end. Oh. It didn't take you that long to forget about me now. I know I didn't have to go, but I couldn't stand and watch my life just pass me by. Reflection of your eyes. So here is one more for the road. Prove to myself I'm not saying this all for show. Oh, lover, you never had the chance to fade into the background. You'll always command the stage in the forefront of my brain, and it'll stay that way for as long as I will know. 'Cause darling, you run the show. Yes, it's wordy, I know that much is true, but how else can I try to explain how much I want it to be for you? And I don't care if it's been years since the last time we spoke. Call me anytime you want someone to know where your mind goes when you're all alone.
Thank you. My mouth is really dry. I'm glad I was able to make it through that without my lips sticking together. But yeah, I really appreciate being invited to this. It's awesome to be able to get to see a little part of the Cleveland music scene that I haven't gotten to experience too much yet. So thank you all very much. Love you, Daddy. Oh yeah, if you want to find us anywhere, you can find us at Relic the Band on Instagram. That's where I post all the music stuff. It's RELLICK. It's I always tell people that it's like you're spelling real lick, but without the A and no space. Because I feel like real lick sticks a lot easier, Yeah, but beyond that, we got a bunch of music out on Spotify. That first one you heard, there's a full band version on Spotify as well, on this most recent single. So appreciate you all having me.
We are Susan Carson and Rick Mayer.
There's a heartbreak in me, but I think it got its name when I went down in a heap of rubble and floated up in flame. There's a sadness in my heart, it's crying out for you, but I don't think I could even deal if you came back to the truth. Oh, my, yeah, yeah. Oh, my, oh, my love. I am sitting at the bar where we always used to go. I am laughing at the things we talk about that no one knows. I am lying in my bed and I feel like I should cry. I am watching memories dance across a movie screen of sky. Oh, my, yeah, yeah. Oh, my, oh, my love. In another time, you would realize. In another time, you'd stay. Oh, my love.
Hey, thank you very much. We are Susan Carson, as I said, with Rick Mayer, and we are an electric duo. We play mostly to the other side of the state around Sandusky, but we're starting to branch out into Vermilion. And we really, if anybody's got any opportunities, we really want to play more toward Cleveland and this area more. Just kind of, we're about a year old, although we have a very, very deep and storied history, each of us individually in music, and we're starting to build one together. And we write a lot of originals. We have about, I think, 12 or 15 or so now. We also play a lot of covers when we play out toward the islands and all of that. We have a really good time with our audience, and but we're definitely looking for bigger stages, more networking, more fans and friends, and just getting to play a lot more music. So cool. We are at SusanCarsonMusic.com.
face, rolls the window down and checks the mirror. Cigarette is burning. No turning back, no time to think about the fear of what was wrong. Alright then, it doesn't matter, he's just got to get away to where no one knows his name or what brings him to say the things he doesn't want to say. But in the trunk a frame of gold, a picture of a boy who never will grow old. Dorian drives away. There's nothing anyone can say. Dorian drives away. Pausing, unnoticed, unimpressed, looks just like the town he saw before. Amazing how some deals have ways of leaving you just feeling like a whore. But in the trunk a frame of gold, a picture of a boy who never will grow old. Dorian drives away. There's nothing anyone can say. Dorian drives away. It's all so gray, where is the sun? Where do you go when you just wanna be someone? What is the point of dreaming now? But things don't work out like they did in fairy tales. He made a deal for life, a bargain straight for hell. So now he drives away. There's nothing anyone can say. Dorian drives away. There's nothing anyone can say. Dorian, Dorian drives. Dorian, Dorian drives.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks so much for having us, and thank you very much to the guys speaking tonight. That was awesome. Thank you. Oh, we are also on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, and all that stuff. We are Susan Carson on there. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's trying.
Trying to get it together. Is there any more
He's trying to
cameras
get
in
it
there?
together. He's trying to. I'm letting him get it together because my hair is getting on my nerves. So but it's okay though, because that one little hair ain't gonna mess me up.
You gonna do it?
They gonna do it.
Poet in the house. You looking
Yeah.
good. Okay. That's good. We got backing tracks too.
You're not wrong.
It's like, man.
Check. Yep.
Yeah. 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right, can we just do a little quick introduction, everybody? My name is Sam Poetry. I'm an artist, producer, songwriter, audio engineer at the Lava Room Recording Studio. This is
Lifted and Gifted.
Lifted
hey,
and Gifted, and
my
this
name is Chelsea. I'm a singer, songwriter, and poet here in Cleveland.
Yeah, so Lifted and Gifted is about having a good time. We just lifted, we gifted. This is a song we made about a year ago, and it was organic, and we're going to do it for you tonight. Let's do it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, turn my beat up a little. Yeah. Sam Poetry, Chelsea. Yeah. You know what we doing. What we said, I said, damn, I ain't know you could get down like that. Damn, I ain't know you could get down like that. Damn, I ain't know you could get down like that. Damn, I ain't know you could get down. Yo, the poet in the house. Put your hands up, pluck the fans up so I can tell my dance up. It's hot in here like Nelly. We about to get sweaty, especially with you on the floor bouncing that jelly like Beyonce and Kelly. You got to dispel me, cut a rug like a sub that was dropped in the deli. Yo, I get my celly, give me your phone number. Your hotness, the reason it's gonna be your long summer. Cause you got me standing at attention like I'm militant. Your outfit matched the shoes, girl, I'm feeling it. Even if you had no legs, we still be kicking it. Turn the lights down, turn around, let's get intimate. Whether red light, candlelight, spin your light, Wheel of Fortune, you gon' feel like Vanna. You the one I like, cause you out of sight like a satellite. We gon' have a good time, cause you got a vibe.
I'm in the party, lifted and gifted. Walk in the room, feel the energy shifting. Put your hands up for the ones that we missing. Pour a drink up for the life that we living. I'm in the party, lifted and gifted. Walk in the room, feel the energy shifting. Put your hands up for the ones that we missing. Pour a drink up for the life that we living.
I said, damn, I ain't know you could get down like that. Damn, I ain't know you could get down like that. Damn, I ain't know you could get down like that. Damn, I ain't know you could get down. Yo, you looking fresh like you stepped out the laundry. Arch your back while I work it out like an auto track. Damn, you all of that. Make me want to call your dad. And your mama too and tell them that they know the stack. Hey, fly girl, let me describe what you do to me. You make my temperature rise looking like new money. Hey, so what's it gonna take for you to slide? Up in my ride and vibe with my hands on your thighs. Oh, you got a man? I'm not surprised. I was mesmerized the moment that I looked in your eyes. Hey, you ain't gotta tell games, play lies. I can be your piece on the side. We like grease and fries. Let's get it poppin'. Late nights, club hopping, hotel suites, warm sheets while we rockin'. Sunrises, foot massages. I need to stop it, but at the end of the night, you got options. I'm in the party, hey, yo, up in the room, feel the energy shifting. Put your hands up for the ones that we missing. Pour a drink up for the life that we living. Hey, I'm in the party, lifted and gifted. Up in the room, feel the energy shifting. Put your hands up for the ones that we missing. Throw them up. Drink up for the life that we living. Set it off.
Hey, yo, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4. Won't stop the father conscious knocking at my door. That will be never, cause time is on our side. Walking in the party, dressed fitted, put your eyes, I'm kicking it. With my ladies, we feeling it. No doubt. Lifted and gifted, and you know what time it is. Chelsea and Poetry, we dropping the beats again. Get to the party hard, cause you know I'm lit. Hey, lifted and gifted. Walk in the room, feel the energy shifting. Put your hands up, that we missing. Pour a drink up for the ones that we missing. No doubt, we in the party, lifted and gifted. Walk in the room, feel the energy shifting. Put your hands up for the ones that we missing. Pour a drink up, yo. I told this girl, I said, yo, I said, damn, I ain't know what. Hey, damn, like that. Hey, get down like that. Like that. Damn, I said you could get down like that. Like damn, all right, take me to the bridge. What you say? Where the fellas at? What?
Grab your lady and get out on the floor.
What?
Drinking now, we can party some more.
No doubt.
When the feeling's right, we can be wrong.
We can't be wrong.
Dancing all night,
on to the morning. Hey,
grab your ladies and get out on the floor. Drinking now, we can party some more. When the feeling's right, we
can't be wrong. What we doing?
Dancing all night, on to the morning.
It's Sam Poetry say, you know what we doing. What they say?
You know what we doing. Hey, you know what we doing.
Yeah, thank y'all very much. This is Chelsea, everybody. everybody. Chelsea, give it up for Chelsea. Yeah. That song is coming out very soon. I ain't even out yet. I got like an exclusive record right now. That's amazing. All right, let me catch my breath real quick. You know what I mean? Rap is a lot of like blah, 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 blah. Some of y'all like, what is he saying? We just lifted and gifted. That's all. We good, love. Thank you. Yeah, so this next song I decided to do because of the panel we had, and as independent artists, it's like, man, we trying to get money. How many people out here trying to get your money together, man? How many of y'all got, like, some days you don't know where the hell your money's coming from? Especially as an artist, we don't know. Sometimes I got $1,000, sometimes I got $15 to my name. You know what I'm saying? So this song is I wrote years ago. It's called Money, and it's basically just talking about my trials and tribulations and relationship with money, because sometimes money can make you depressed, man, but is it really, like, what is it about, though? You know what I mean? So let's drop it. Let's do it. Turn the beat up a little bit. So look. Yeah, this little bounce. Yeah. Money. Yeah. Get money. For all my money getters out here. Everybody struggling financially. This for you. Yeah, check it out, yo. Sitting in my castle, looking at my queen, sipping on some great goose, think about green, plotting on a scheme to stack more knots in the pockets of my jeans than my eyes ever seen. What does it mean to acquire these things? Flat screens, limousines, can it bring inner peace? Can it bring back life when deceased? Man, life isn't sweet when the prices are cheap on things that you need to survive in the streets. Some say the best things in life are for free. I got a little girl that be counting on me, plus I got a real big child support fee. Baby mom got a handout every week, rent due plus old back taxes. I should have stayed awake in my math classes. The way I did things was ass backwards. I was young and dumb. People rob and steal. Others bust them guns to maximize their funds. Life is a gamble. Would you sacrifice your life for a handful of bucks? Good luck. Some guess 4 numbers and they hit the lottery. It's gotta be a better way to elevate your finances. Drive nice cars and have fly mansions. With my eyes glancing on that M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, if you wanna get by, if you wanna be fly, if you wanna fly high, you gotta get M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, gotta clock them butts, cause in God we trust to the day I die. Let's go. M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, if you wanna get by, if you wanna be fly, if you wanna fly high, you gotta get M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, gotta clock them butts, cause in God we trust to the day. Hey, yo, dreams of $8 in my pockets, fine linen suits in the closet, exotic model girls in my bedroom, diamond studded gold wristwatches. I just fantasize with my eyelids closed. I suppose if I rock hot flows and rock top shows, I can possibly go. God asks, what does it profit though? To gain the world and lose your soul. I'm just trying to ride on cruise control in the brand new coupe with my jewels exposed and my top down while the music blow out the speakers. What you know about going out to eat a box of pizza and a 2-liter leaving empty-handed? Embarrassed when the register declines your visa. The problems ease up when you got cash on the 1st and 15th. It don't last. This government assistance is not enough assistance. The words in the first will be last. Last will be first. I don't know what's worse. Being broke and stressed out, or being rich and miserable is visible. Material things can't bring happiness. I'm still trying to get it though. Y'all pray for me. M-O-N-E-Y. Y'all sing. M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, if you want to get by, if you want to be fly, if you want to fly high, you gotta get M-O-N-E-Y. Y'all sing. M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, gotta clock them butts, cause in God we trust to the day I die. Let's go. M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to get by, if you want to be fly, you gotta fly high, you gotta get M-O-N-E-Y. Y'all sing. M-O-N-E-Y. Yeah, gotta clock them butts, cause in God we trust to the day I die. Let's go. Thank y'all so much, very much. Y'all follow me on Instagram at Sam Poetry, and go to sampoetry.com. Much love. You know what we doing. Thank you. All right, appreciate it. sampoetry.com and on Instagram at Sam Poetry. Much love to everybody. Thank you.
sunlight and pain. The darkness will fade, and it won't be long before you get what you're longing for. So I lost my grip, and the smoke was thick in the air, and I just didn't care. If the roles were switched, would you know not to get ensnared? Is it all for the flood? Crimson sun, crimson blood, crimson I cry to the kingdom come. Crimson diamonds, crimson cup, everything slow, can you just hold up? My crimson flood, crimson ride, spent all summer in that crimson tide. Crimson call to the crimson sky, I must know why. Like what's wrong with me anyhow? How come I hate myself? Seeing red, let's go paint the town. Do you hate me now? Oh, do you hate me now? It's too late for me now. As day breaks, the city awakens. It's scarlet and crimson, rhythms and tempos, symphonic displays. Ooh, bubonic my play. I'm sick in my mental, and help won't be sent for. Awaiting my fate, and pray until you had showed up. I didn't know love, sunlight and pain. The darkness will fade, yeah, and it won't be long for get what you're longing for. That crimson sun, crimson blood, crimson I cry to the kingdom come. Crimson diamonds, crimson cup, everything slow, can you just hold up? My crimson flow, crimson rhymes, spent all summer in that crimson tide. Crimson call to the crimson sky, I must know why. Like what's wrong with me anyhow? Yo, how come I hate myself so much? Ooh, seeing red, let's go paint the town. Do you hate me now? Oh, do you hate me now? It's too late for me now as day breaks. It's too late for me now as day breaks. Oh, do you hate me now? Thank you. Cause I came to the top from the bottom, and I can't tell the top from the bottom, and I can't tell the clout from the fame. Okay, and I can't tell my trunk from my motor, and they can't tell the buzz from the moment, and they can't tell my brand from my name. Okay, I came to the top from the bottom, and I can't tell the love from the hate these days, can't tell the fun from the pain. Okay, baby, even if it's just for the moment, I swear you'll be glad that you came. Okay, and I can't tell my trunk from my motor, baby, even if it's just for the moment, I swear you'll be glad that you came. Okay, baby, even if it's just for the moment. Loving you should not be such a hassle. I'm just trying to put you in a castle. I wish I could put this in a capsule and open this again whenever that bag comes. You can't be the only one, but you gon' be the last one. Working late at night and then I'm up before the damn sun. Put myself in sticky shit cause I can't see my fam stuck. Damn, oh, everything changed again, and I will not brag. This is not a flex, but I must confess that I made progress, and everything changed again. I will not go out with my friends. I'll be locked in the lab all weekend, every weekend, and the story never ends, and it's all the same. And I thought you'd be proud of me, baby. Look at me now, little baby. And I thought you'd be proud of me, baby. Look look at me now. Baby, just take a good look at me now. Oh, yeah, I came to the top from the bottom. I can't tell the top from the bottom. And I can't tell the clout from the fame. Okay, and I can't tell my trunk from my motor. And they can't tell the buzz from the moment. And they can't tell my brand from my name. Okay, I came to the top from the bottom. And I can't tell the love from the hate these days. Can't tell the fun from the pain. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe even if it's just for the moment. Ooh. Thank you. My name is Phoenix Vibes. You spell that like PXVBS. And you can find me on all social media platforms, all streaming platforms, and as well at phoenixvibes.com, pxvbs.com. Awesome, thanks.
Give it up one more time for all of our musical guests tonight. Thank you all for being here. I want to let you know that this happens every month, and we're doing even more than that. We have a lot of different musical events. There's great opportunities to get involved. If you want to, we have a newsletter in the back. You can sign up for it on paper or on our website. We have a little QR code you can scan and just like go right there with your phone. We got flyers for our upcoming shows. We got a great show coming up on... Where's Jack? Jack's outside. We got a great show with Jack coming up on August 7th, right out on the Tower stage at the corner there in front of the Millard Fillmore and Six Shooter Coffee. As Jack and the Optimists and Quentin Rubin will be playing, and it's going to be an amazing show. Free, outdoors, live, 7 o'clock till 6:30 till 9, about then, and come on down and enjoy some music with us. This week, on Wednesday, we're going to have a workshop about how the recording studio at the 66 works. And the 66 is a great new place in the Midtown Collaboration Center on East 66 between Chester and Euclid. And there's a brewery in there, there's a restaurant in there, and there's a performance space in there, and there's all kinds of great Cleveland bands have been playing through there. Their performance space can also be used as a recording studio. I'm going to bring our Music Incubator band Fox Ears in there and do a demonstration recording on how people in our community can use this new free recording studio in our area. So come on down on Wednesday at the 66. All this is up on our website, on our event calendar, clevelandrocksppf.org. And I want to let you know we have volunteer opportunities. If you like this kind of programming and you want to get involved, there's ways to get involved. We have some great volunteers in the room. Thank you for being here, everybody. And I appreciate the work you do, and we'd love for you to join us and help us do this work. We're out here trying to make the music scene in Cleveland a better place to live. So please, jump in and help out. And if you're looking for help, talk to us, because that's what we're in the business of, talking to musicians and finding out what they need help with. So thank you all for being here. We'll be around, hang out. We'll just be cleaning up. Talk to yourselves. You can ask me any questions. Our executive director, Cindy Barber, is in the house. Thank you for being here. And Ryan, our video producer, drove in for over 7 hours from the depths of Appalachia today through rain, sleet, and snow. And Kim, if you got here because you saw a flyer or a post, it was because of Kim. Kim Henderson, our graphic design guru. We say guru in our meetings. We say our graphic design guru. I mean, it's not our official title, but we say it in our meetings all the time. So thank you all for being here, and thanks for sharing this evening with us. And you don't have to go home right away.